We are ready to start this class. You can continue, Nancy.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, grade fives. I'm Nancy Maluleke. I'm going to be your teacher for this session and other sessions to come. So we're starting with grade five. I saw someone said they were not here yesterday. Lucky for you, I think it was Tori Show. We're only starting today, so you did not miss anything. So we're going to start with the first topic of term 2, which is whole numbers. That we are going through, you might be familiar with. I will try to make them easy for you to understand, and I hope that you have pens and pencils and papers so that you can note down some things. You know, math is about doing. So as we are doing something and you see a sum, please feel free to do it and then leave a comment for me on the chat session. Okay, so as I said, we are doing whole numbers. That's the topic. And KEPS requires you guys that for this first week, we're going to order, we're going to compare whole numbers, we're going to represent them to at least 6-digit numbers. I think in grade 4, you guys only did up until 4-digit numbers. So a 4-digit number will be a number with only thousands, but up until 6-digit numbers now, you'll see we're going to do 100,000. And we're also going to represent odd and even numbers to at least 1,000. And then you're also going to represent place value of whole numbers to at least 6-digit numbers. So that is the topics to be covered today. So if you check on your textbook, this is what you would have done with your teacher. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to, so you'll be successful if you're able to do place value of numbers. You'll be successful if you're able to expand numbers, if you're able to order up to 6-digit numbers, if you are able to compare up to 6-digit numbers, and if you can easily identify odd and even numbers. So that is our success criteria. If at the end of the lesson you're able to do this, then you are home and away. So we're starting with place value. The definition of what place value is, every digit in the number has a place value. Place value can be defined as the value represented by a digit in a number on the basis of its position in the number. Except if it's a single number, say if it's 1, then we know the place value is unit. But if you have a number, each and every number has got its own position, and then this position, we call it place value, depending on how many digits we have on the number. So when we talk of place value, we are talking about units, we're talking about tens, we're talking about hundreds, thousands, and so on. It is advisable to always start placing the values from right going to left so that you do not miss any place value. So we start working from right. So I'm sure you were taught in grade 4, if you have 525, you start with, or 526, you're going to start with 6 as units, and then you go to hundreds, and then you go to thousands, like that. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands, like that. And then most learners still use a place value table. This assists them in placing the values properly. And then this is an example of a place value table. So I gave you the numbers. Let's look at the numbers below, and then we place them in the place value table. So this, I think it's easier for you to draw this. So you can see on my table, I started with units, and then I have tens, and then I have hundreds, I have thousands, I have 10,000. So if I have a 6-digit number, it means here I will have 100,000. So let's look at number A. The number there that I gave you is 8,241. And then we place it on the place value table. So we can see that 1 is a unit, and then 4 is tens, 2 is hundreds, and 8 is thousands. This we did also in grade 4. So you'll be familiar with this one. And then looking at number B, the number that we have there is 15,627. So we can see on the place value table, 7 is units, and then 2 is tens, and then 6 is hundreds, 5 is thousands, and 1 is 10,000. This is place value. So if you do a place value table, you'll never go wrong. And then number C, the number is 584. And then we can see there 4 is units. So this is you working from the right, going to the left. So 4 is units, and then 8 is tens, and then 5 is hundreds. If you know how to use a place value table, you'll be able to do any digit number. You can do a 9-digit number as long as you know that the order is units, and then it's tens, and then it's hundreds, and then it's thousands, 10,000, and then here you have 100,000, and then the next one will be millions. But you're only going to start doing millions when you go to grade 6. I hope you understand. Okay, so we're going to move on to looking at the questions that you get in an assessment, because you guys, you write assessments, you being assessed time and again. So in an assessment, place value questions vary like this. So it depends how your teacher will give you the questions, but most of the time you'll see on an assessment, the questions that you get is place value. Am I right? You always get them right? Okay, so a question would be like this: give the place value of the underlined digit. And then in this case, you'll be given a number with underlined digits. You'll be given a number with underlined digits. So I gave you a number there. Remember, you guys do up until 6-digit numbers. So I gave you 754,125, and then I underlined 5 and I underlined 1. So the question is, give the place value. So here the 5 is, we can write it in 2 ways. So you can write it as this. So this means 10,000, or you can write it in words and say 10,000. So either way, your teacher will give you a right answer. And then I also underlined 1 for you. Remember, the question says give the place value. So 1 is underlined there, and then we can write the answer as just an H, or we can write it as 100. So you get the answer right, your teacher will give it to you right there. So those are the questions that most of the assessments will ask. And then there is misconception. So misconception says this is what you believed, but it is not so. So you think it is like this, but it is not like that. So most misconceptions that we get is most learners confuse value and place value. I'm sure maybe one or some of you have seen when your teacher asks you give the value or the place value, you just think hundreds, or you just write 200 and you get it wrong, you wonder why. So there is a difference between value and place value. Think of place value as a home. Place is where you reside, isn't it? So you think of place value as a home, so where numbers reside or where they stay. So they either reside in units, because remember, if we go back to the table, we did that table, and then underneath each number there is units, tens. So those units, tens, hundreds, think of that as a home. So when they say place value, you're thinking of home, and then home is either units or tens or hundreds and so forth. So so now don't confuse place value and value. And then right, sorry about that. And then value is then how much is the number worth. So when you talk about place value, we're talking about where does it stay? Does it stay on units? Does it stay on the tens? Does it stay on the hundreds or on the thousands? So when we talk about value, we're then saying how much is the number worth. On the example above, the value of 5 will then be 50,000. So if the question says, what is the value of the underlined digit? You'll say the answer is 50,000. If it says, what is the place value? Then you say it's 10,000. And then also the value of 1, the underlying digit there, you say the value is 100. So I hope today you can be able to differentiate between place value and value. Okay, so that's it on place value, and then we move on to expanded notation. So prior knowledge, what is it that you know about expanded notation? We did place value in grade 4, you also did place value in term 1. So your prior knowledge, you know about place values. And then you also know about breaking down, because in grade 4, currently they are using the breaking down method. They also used it in grade 3. So breaking down is not a new concept for you. So you're also aware of breaking down. And then in grade 4, we did breaking down extensively. When we do expanded notation, we break a number according to its numeric value using place values. Okay, I'll come to you, Dante. So we work from left to right, and then examples of breaking down numbers. Okay, so I gave you a couple of numbers there. So we're going to go through an activity of breaking down numbers. This also might be easier for some people because they grasped it when they were in grade 4, but maybe there's someone who is still confused in grade 5, hence why we repeat it in grade 5. Let me just check what people are saying here. Okay. Okay, that hand is gone. All right. So number A, there we have 47,561, and then the question is you must break down the numbers. So we can see here 47,561. We're going to write it as 40,000 plus. Don't forget the plus. Most of the learners, they just write 40,000, 7,561. Remember, if you don't have the plus, it's not going to make up the number. So the plus makes up the number. So please do not forget grade 5s to put a plus. So it's 40,000. So you look at this one individually. Each digit we look at it individually. So it's 40,000 plus 7,007. You see, you can also say, if you say you are doing higher digit numbers, so you can write the 4, and then thereafter you count how many numbers is it after the 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So you're going to just write how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then plus, you write the 7, and then you count how many zeros, how many numbers are after 7. 1, 2, 3. So then you write how many zeros? 1, 2, 3. And then plus, you write the 5. How many numbers after 5? It's 1, 2 numbers. So you're going to write 1, 2, which is 500. And then you come to 60. So you write the 6, and then how many numbers after 6? It's 1, and then you write 1, 0 plus 1. So you not get this one. These are your level 1 questions. So in an assessment, these are things that you get right. So you master them so that you can get your 60% and everything. And then we look at number B now. Number B, we now have a 6-digit number. What do I mean when I say 6-digit number? How many numbers does this number have? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we call them digits in a number. So here we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was a 5-digit number, and now this is a 6-digit number. So every time you hear your teacher saying, we are now doing 6-digit numbers or 5-digit numbers, then you know what the teacher is talking about. So here it's a 6-digit number, and then we expand it. So we do the same thing. You can write your 3 first, and then count how many numbers is it after. It's 5 numbers, meaning that you have 5 zeros. And then plus, and this number we say is 300,000 because it's 300 and then it's 1,000 there. So if you were troubled with reading out large numbers, so you know we read them 3 by 3. So these first 3 we say is 300, and then here is 1,000, so it's 300,000. Yeah? And then here we come to this one. You write your 8, and then you count how many numbers is it after 8. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore you're going to write how many zeros? 4 zeros. So then this one we say it's 80,000 plus 6,000 plus 200 plus 70 plus 6. So that is how we break the number. And then we come here, I put in a little twist here. I put a 0 so that we see what to do if there is a 0. So the number still a how many digit number? Still a 6-digit number because it is 6 digits. And then you do the same thing. You write your 1 and then you count how many numbers are after that. And then it's 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 9,000 plus 500 plus 60 and then plus 0. Some learners do not write the 0. So we can either write the 0 or not write it. You still get the answer right? So you're not going to get penalized if you don't write the 0. On expanded notation, if you see there's a 0, you can skip it. Even if it's in the middle, you skip it. You're not going to get any deductions on your points. And then the last one here is 50,600. So we expanded 5 still, and then we write 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and then so it's 50,000 plus 600. Okay, let me just check the chat here if there's a question. Oh, no question here. Okay, and then the misconception that most learners have, some learners, when they expand, they do not write the plus sign, which is wrong. So if there is no plus sign, you're not going to get any points. And then some learners combine the first two numbers. For example, if the number is 12,578, they will say 12,000 plus 500 plus 70 plus 8, which is also wrong. So make sure if it's 12,000, you still have to break this because there is two place values here. There's 10,000 and then there's thousands. So you have to say 10,000 plus 2,000. I hope you also understand that. Okay, now we move on to comparing whole numbers. Prior knowledge, this is what you know. By now, you know place value because we also talked about them. So if you didn't know, you now know. And then you know the symbols, greater than, lesser than, and equals. These are the symbols that you use to compare numbers. You can recognize how many digits the number have. The bigger the digits, the bigger the number. So if you're comparing a 2-digit and a 3-digit, obviously comparing tens and hundreds, obviously the hundreds are going to be bigger. And then rule of comparing whole numbers. You have to work from left to right. You compare the same place values of the numbers. For example, on comparing these two numbers. So I gave you two 6-digit numbers there. So we check the first place values, which is 100,000. Here is 400,000, and then here is also 400,000. So if we're comparing, that is the same, right? So if we see that those first place values are the same, we now have to move on to the next one because we cannot compare 4 and 4 because they are the same. And then we move on to the next one. The next one is 5 and 2. And what is this 5? This 5 is 50,000 and this 2 is 20,000. So now we have differences in the second comparison. So obviously 50 is bigger than 20,000. 50,000 is bigger than 20,000. So this means that this number is bigger than that one. So what it means is you're not going to go and compare these ones because already you have seen which number is bigger. So both the numbers, okay, so this was, I was explaining what I just said. So let's do an activity. Okay, let's see what Nanda says. Okay, yes, Nanda, you can ask. Okay, Nanda, I have a question. Okay, I'll move on. Yes, Nanda? Maybe if you can just unmute Nanda to hear what she wants to ask.
What happened? What are the fours for?
What are the
Fours for?
fours?
Yes.
Okay, on the previous one. Here, are you asking about here? Nanda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. So Nanda, I said I gave you two numbers. So this one is 452, right? It's 452,321. And this one is 425,213. So we first compare the first numbers on the first, or the first place value, which is 100,000 in this case. So this 4 is 400,000, and this one is also 400,000. So when we're comparing, we cannot compare 400,000 and 400,000 because they are the same. So we still haven't arrived to the answer to which one is bigger. That's why we have to move on to the 5 and the 2, which is the next digits in the number. You understand? Okay, I'll move on. Yes, Nanda? Okay. Okay, let me move on, Nanda, so that maybe you understand better, because on the activity, I actually also highlighted so you can understand. So here's an activity of comparing whole numbers. Let's look at A. You guys are in grade 5, so I said you're going to be doing 6-digit numbers. So I gave you 324,009, and then you comparing it with 329,999. I will come to you over to, let me finish this explaining and then I'll answer you. So when we're comparing, I said we work from left to right. So we compare the same place values. This is 100,000 and this is 100,000. So we have to check. Remember, we want to check which number is bigger and which one is smaller. So we check, there is 300,000 and here is 300,000. No comparison there. So we have to move on to the next number. The next number is 2, which is 20,000, and here it's also 20,000 because these are 10,000. So we have two 10,000, which makes 20,000, and also here is 20,000. So we have to move on because it's still the same. Then we come to now our thousands. Here we have 4,000 and there we have 9,000. So it means this one is bigger. And then I also gave you a nice crook there at the bottom, if you can check here, because most of the learners are confusing the signs. So this means that this number is bigger, and you see what it gets. Let's go to the crocodile there. You see the crocodile is the bigger number. So then you can see our sign there is the same as here. So every time the bigger number receives the mouth of the crocodile. So if the number is bigger, it gets this is the mouth of the crocodile. And then the smaller number gets, you can say it gets the tail or something. But as long as you know that the bigger number gets the mouth of the crocodile. And then number B, let's look at number B. The numbers that I gave you, it's 189,000 and you are comparing it to 198,000. So we first check the first place value, which is hundreds. We have 100 there and then we have 100 there. Then here we move on. So it's the same. We cannot compare because the numbers are the same. Then we move on to our 10,000s. Here we have 8 10,000s, which is 80,000. And then we have 9 10,000, which is 90,000. So obviously, which one is bigger? You guessed it right. This one is bigger. And then it gets the mouth because it's bigger. And the smaller one gets the, we can say the tail. So it gets the tail. And then number C, I also gave you number C as the last one. 298,880, we are comparing it to 298,980. So 2 and 2 are the same, right? 9 and 9 are the same. You see how we compare? So we compare each value against the same value against the other number. And then 8 and 8 are the same. Now let's go to hundreds. Here we have 800s and there we have 900s. So which one is bigger? Obviously the one with 900 is bigger than 800. So then this is the sign that we use. So that is how we compare fractions, whole numbers. Remember, on using the comparing symbols, the bigger number gets the mouth of the sign or the mouth of the crocodile, and the smaller number get the point of the sign. Now let's move on to ordering the numbers. Okay, so here we're going to look at common terms that are used when we order numbers. Okay, let me check if there's a question here before I move on. Okay, people are talking and they are, okay, it's not questions. Okay, so listen, if you have a question, you raise up your hand, then they will unmute you, and then you ask the question like Nanda did, and then we can move on, because the chats, I think you guys are talking amongst yourself. All right, so on ordering numbers, common terms used when ordering numbers, it's ascending order. I think from grade 4 you've been using smallest or biggest, but now we are in grade 5 and we're easing you into the proper terms. So ascending order, this is from smallest to biggest. Think of a plane ascending. So how does a plane ascend? It moves from the ground going up, and then so we go up. So it's from smallest to biggest. And also think of A for ascending rhymes with up. So ascending, up, ascending, up. So we go up. And then descending order, this is from biggest to smallest. So we go down. Remember, you can't go down if you're not up. So descending order is from biggest to smallest. So it's from up going down. So D for descending rhymes with D for down. So descending down, ascending up. Remember, if something is down, it has to, if it's down, it has to go up. So which is small, biggest. And if it's up, it has to go down. So it's from big to smallest. Do not confuse these terms. Most learners are confusing these terms. When you order numbers, we use the same method we used when you're comparing numbers. So when you order numbers, remember when you're comparing two numbers, you have two. But when we are ordering numbers, you either given 3 numbers or 4 numbers. So we do the same thing, same skill. We use the same skill that you used when you're comparing numbers. Okay, so I just gave you 2 sums there. So always the question will be, order these numbers from ascending order to descending order. Remember, I said grade 5s are for up. So from small going up, and then from ascending to descending. So for going up. So the numbers that we have there, 12,000. So I gave you 5-digit numbers there. 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-digit numbers. And then on the yellow, you see I highlighted 1, 1, the ones as yellow, meaning that they're the same. And then the 2s, I highlighted them as blue, meaning that they are the same. But the difference comes in hundreds. So here on the first number, we have 100. On the second one, we have 500. On this one, we have 400. On this one, we have 400. So the bigger one on the hundreds, we check which one is bigger on the hundreds, is this one. That's why I wrote it first. Followed by this 400, I wrote it second. And then we have 2 400s that are the same. Can you see that? 4, 4 here. So for us to get number 3 and number 4, it means that we have to now move on to the tens and compare the tens. So we have this one. This is the first one, and this is the second one, and then this is the next one with 445, and then the smaller one is the one with 145. And then number B, order the numbers from descending order. And then I gave you 6-digit numbers. So as you can see here, we have 1 on the hundreds, another 1 on the hundreds, another 1 on the hundreds, another 1 on the hundreds. So the hundreds, the 100,000s are the same. Then we have to move on to the 10,000s. So this, we have 9 10,000. And then here we have 8 10,000. There we have another 9, 10,000, and then an 8, 10,000. So now the competition is between this one and that one. Can you see that? For us to get number one. So it's 198 there and 198. So for us to get number one and number two, we have to look at those ones. Now let's come to the hundreds. Here is 200 and there is 300. So the first one will be the one with 300, obviously followed by this one with 200. And then now we go back to the 189 one. So we have this one, the 189 and the 189. So the first three digits are the same. Now we go to the hundreds. This one have 200 and then this one have 300. So this one then becomes the third and obviously that one becomes the last one. So that is how we order the numbers.
15 minutes to end session and question from Luco.
Okay, is he unmuted?
We'll do that now.
Yes, Luca?
Luco does not have a mic. I will reply to him in the question section.
Okay, all right, I'll move on. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to look at is odd and even numbers. So all the whole numbers, when we talk about whole numbers, we're talking about full numbers. All the whole numbers can be classified into either odd or even numbers. So all the whole, from 0 up until trillion, if there's such a number, up until zillion, if there's such a number, they are classified into odd or even numbers. So even numbers, they end with either a 0 at the end, or a 2, or a 4, a 6, and an 8. Whilst odd numbers end with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Even numbers are then numbers that are divisible by 2, or they can be divided by 2 and they leave no remainder. These are multiples of 2. When you count in 2s, you get even numbers. So if you are singing, because I know all of you can sing the multiples of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, like that. Those are even numbers. For example, when you divide the even numbers, I gave you an example there. I said 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. So it means that 4 is an even number. And then odd numbers, on the other hand, are numbers that cannot be divisible by 2. So when you divide them by 2, they leave a remainder. So odd numbers are numbers when you count from 1, you say 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so forth. So for example, if we divide odd numbers, if we share them into 2, or if we divide them by 2, they always leave a remainder of 1. So odd numbers, they always leave a remainder of 1. So that is about even and odd numbers. So we are going to look at an activity there. It's our last activity. Okay, so these are the possible questions that you get about odd and even numbers. So the first question says, list all the even numbers between 973 and 999. Okay, I didn't write the answers here because I didn't want people to be lazy to think. So I said you must have a pen and a paper, remember? So this, take it as your homework. So list all the even numbers between 973 and 999. If you started with 974, you are right. So you can list them. And then number B says, list all the odd numbers between 426 and 440. So if you started with, or if you're going to start with 427, you are right. Let's look at number C. Number C is a little bit, you see, I'm increasing the level here. Which odd number comes before 10,980? I think for a minute, I would like to see the answers on the chat, because I see you guys are busy chatting to each other and you must be listening. So for a minute, I want to see the messages coming into the chat and you answering number C. Which odd number comes before 10,980. So I'm going to go to the chart and see the answers that you guys are writing, because they need to show me that you guys were listening. And yes, so now I'm going to check the chart and I will tell you who is getting it right. Okay, there. Okay, Shadung, well done. Is it Shadung? Well done. Bunolo, also well done. You are listening. Oh, okay. I see Sizwe there. Frezi, Kelly. Well done. Yes. Okay, that one I cannot recognize the number. Praise, I see there. Kamu, well done. You guys are listening. Jessica, we missed it by one. Just double check your answer there. Okay, Nati, Shanae, I see. Okay, all right. Okay, Dante, just double check your answer for me, my dear. Yes, well done, Tagalo. Well done, Jessica. Yes, Sisonke. Yes, Tato. You guys are a good class. Okay. I'm going to go to question D. Well done to those that got right. Well done to those that tried. They are risk takers. So now remember, with maths, if you don't try, you'll never get it right. So well done to everyone who tried, and the ones that got it right, well done. I'm so proud of you. Okay, now the last question. Number D says, which even numbers, or which even number actually, comes after 20,999? 1 minute. 20,999. Let's see the answers. Oh, wonderful. Yes, Praise. Praise, you changed your answer. Praise, you had the right answer and you changed it. Okay, Takalo. Okay, well done, Dante. I see you got it right now. Okay, wait. Double check your answer. Kamu, you missed something there. You missed something. Shanae, double check it. Yes, Sizwe. Yes, Jonathan. Yeah. Okay, who is that? Okay, I think maybe you guys are typing too fast, and you are missing the numbers. Okay. Yes, Cam, well done. I see you changed it. Well done, Kelly. Jessica, that Q there. Must it be a Q? Yes, Cecilia, well done. Yes, well done, Jessica. I was waiting for that. Sisonke, well done. Okay, so you guys were actually listening. Riafana, double check your answer for me, please. Check again, Ria. Yes, Nanda, well done. Okay, Takalo, yes. Yes, well done, Riafana. I saw that. Okay. Wangama, check for me your answer. You forgot something there. Okay, I'll just close my chat for a little bit. Okay, so you guys are a good audience. I'm proud of you. I'll check the chat. So that brings us to today's end of today's lesson. But tomorrow, before I close, okay, so remember to know the difference between place value and value. You can tell your mom or your guardian or your dad about the difference between place value and value. You should also master expanded notation. We're going to use it tomorrow when we do addition and subtraction. And I want to see people with pens and papers, and I want people to show me what they've done, because I'm going to give you time to show me your answers. And then you should also know your odd and even numbers, because this is going to help you when you do prime numbers in grade 6. So tomorrow, we are going to do rounding off. Oh, please, I can't wait for tomorrow. I want to see answers tomorrow. I want to see people showing me their answers or typing their answers. So tomorrow we are doing, I'll attend to you now, Jonathan. We are doing rounding off. and then going to do addition and subtraction using different strategies. Until then, you guys should stay safe and you must practice your maths. Okay, admin, if you can just unmute Jonathan so we can hear his question. Yes, Jonathan? Jonathan, are you with us? I saw you raised your hand. Was it by mistake? Okay, someone is asking what time tomorrow. Times are going to be posted. I think it's the same time. Check on our Facebook page and you'll get the times there. If I'm not mistaken, it's same time tomorrow. Yes, Jonathan. Jonathan? Okay. Okay, Praise. Yes, Praise. Praise.
Ma'am,
Yes, Praise.
is the lesson over?
Praise, it's over. We've been on it for
What? I thought it was going to be 1 hour.
No, it's actually 45 minutes, Praise. But look at the things that we covered. We already did place value, expanded notation. We did ordering and comparing. You see how many topics we've covered?
4 minutes left.
So, Praise, are you going to be here tomorrow? Praise is gone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see you tomorrow then. Rounding off, ne?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so see you guys tomorrow. Oh, there is a hand raised there. Nanda. Admin, if you can just unmute Nanda for us.
This class is very fun.
Thank you for the feedback, Nanda. Am I going to see you tomorrow? Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, see you tomorrow then, Nanda. Bye, Kamu. Okay, bye, Nati. You're welcome. Bye, Melody. Bye, Takalo. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe. Stay safe, ne? And I'm out.